Here's one of the terrible things about this awful society. And it's actually one of the reasons why there's no hope. In fact, it's hardly, it's kind of educated, posher people's version of woke. I happen to be somebody in my 20s. I gypsied around the world, and I would get paid to wait at some small, I'd always try and stay in a small village or small town. If I was going to somewhere like, I don't know, Reims in France, R-A-I-M-S, I'd find a little smaller town 20 kilometres away, and I'd base myself there if I had to stay 2 days waiting for my customer to come back. And I'd go and see art galleries and things like that. And I'd read mainly literature, good literature, but good literature has a lot in it about art. And I used to take my daughter to lots of art galleries. And the last 11 or 12 years, I kind of, I don't watch television. I don't drink, really. No, I don't drink at all. I've never played a computer game, ever. And I have no interest in motor vehicles whatsoever. Oh yes, and I've never watched sport. Okay, when I was a teenager, I used to watch the cricket on television, and I've watched maybe about 3 tennis matches on television, and that's it. So I have time. I fill my time with walking, thinking, writing. Used to do some work. But the last 10 years, particularly the last 7 or 8 years, I've kind of decided, I kind of took the time to go to almost all the art galleries in my past region gradually, and then there'd be most areas once a year there'd be some kind of proper, quite long lasting festival of art where artists would open their studios, and I'd quite often go and look at most of them. Since I arrived here 11 months ago, wherever I've been, I've popped my nose in to art. I've been to any gallery, except the only one I haven't been to is the Tate, because wrongly they charge here. I'm told it's not very good anyway. So here's the thing. I got a pretty good take on what the regional, the art of the region is. I've got a pretty good take on art, full stop. In fact, prior to coming down here, I encountered and had jolly good chats with a very, very truly wonderful artist who is just relaunching herself, Cara MacDonald. Met her at Ludlow. I was there using the plug, the electricity. And she's very special, and she knew I was well enough informed. I could tell that her paintings of flowers and some landscapes were particularly good. She really she was upper level to most of what you see. Now, from literature, poetry, but also looking at many paintings, I know something. And as I say, as I introduce this subject whenever I'm having this conversation with anybody, yeah, like I was really turned on by Turner. I can't remember how old I was, maybe 25 when I first went to the Tate, if it was the Tate in London, and saw Turner. Wow! And Turner does a lot of the sea. One of the most famous literature books is The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway. I've read several authors who do use the sea or the coast in their books. But here's the thing. I know for a fact from many years of pondering art that the sea does not encourage good art. I don't know what it does. It does not encourage good philosophical thinking, because society, human beings, who we all know are number one headfuck creature on the planet, they're creatures of the cities. The power in Britain, this county, it's defined by the tax money coming in from the cities. Cornwall's defined by its attempts to grab enough money so they can afford to pay, quite rightly, not complaining, pay for what seems to be, I haven't used one, quite good bus service, and one or two other things. But I know for a fact the sea does not make for good art. It does nothing for the artist. It is purely for a pleasing picture for visitors. Full stop. Oh, there might be the odd artist who's... I've seen thousands of paintings of the sea. I was looking at one woman, a gallery in Penzance, and it's just so boring. And she's charging 2,000 quid a painting. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. There's nothing much to the sea. There's nothing much to these rocks. Once you've seen... I've lived and walked around a lot of South Island, New Zealand, where the rock formations are even more thrilling than this. Okay, once you've seen rock formations around the coast, yeah, okay, but there's nothing much to it. But if I actually say that to any 30, 40, 50-year-old English, particularly woman, they get quite aggressive. It's like, who do you think you are? That's just your opinion. And I can't even be bothered. You know, it's like they're so sold. They're actually just sheep. They are literally sheep. They just go to all of these crap galleries. I mean, there's one little gallery in here which is interesting. The one main one actually hasn't got anything in the sea. And I walked in and I congratulated him. I really congratulated him. Pictures of the sea. I'm not asking any interesting questions. Turner did it. Turner's dealt with that. But just anybody who's slightly arty, they're so invested in, they've come here, they go to all these little galleries, and they've got to go, oh, isn't this wonderful? When they're not. It's not, oh, they're technically hired. I'm the first to admit, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit there and spend 10, 20, 30 hours, however long. And I met a really wonderful woman in St Ives, actually, who talked me through what she did. She was great. I really liked her very, very much, and admired her work very, very much. I couldn't do it, but I learned nothing. This is safe, anodyne. It's a formula for basically a herd of sheep called visitors who are just supping the soma. But even suggest this, there's nothing artistic. There's nothing that's going to grab you in pictures of the sea. There's nothing that can change you. There's nothing that can enhance you. There's nothing that can make you grow. There's nothing that can make you ask the right questions. Even hint this to anyone who's a little bit arty, and they get so aggressive. It really is. How on earth can you say that? You know, it's just your opinion. And it's actually an opinion based on much thought and a great deal of consumption of the most boring paintings I've ever seen in my life, anywhere, ever. But it's them I worry about. You see, that's what I worry about in this society. That's a kind of almost fascism. It's what's fascism like. It's performative. It's the performed answer to everything is in line with what people... You fill in the dots. I know how to fill in the dots. But it's not. It is Asadian. And it's also, well, I feel sorry for the response is always like, how dare you? You're committing a heresy, sacrilege. Who the fuck are you to say that? Well, actually, I'm somebody who I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. I've seen enough art in my life to know what I'm talking about. And furthermore, I am very good on looking for the sublime within words, music, and pictures. I see nothing. Nothing. Yeah, they assume you're just being, because one is not performing the approved phraseology. I mean, the Soma has got them, but the Soma has actually is bad for them, and well, you can see when you engage with them that it's hurt them. Their Soma has hurt them. They're not able to say, well, okay, maybe you've got a valid opinion there. Tell me more. That's interesting. I haven't heard it from my crap professors, my crap gallerists, my crap tourist guide writers. Yeah? Maybe you've got an interesting opinion. Nope. So they can't even do that. And that's when you have a partial tyranny. To be very careful of this country now. I think it's going to get worse.